Lagina, Rick Blankenship, Dave Charles Barkhouse, and Doug Crail are exploring the Money Pit area with Choice Drilling Team. They are excited about the possibility of finding a debris field, with the team being convinced that it is a tunnel leading from Shaft 6. In 1861, a team of treasure hunters dug a second shaft 18 feet west of the original Money Pit to avoid booby traps. However, at a depth of 118 feet and just 1 foot shy of their target, the tunnel known as Shaft 6 suddenly filled with seawater. 3 weeks ago, the Oak Island team made a discovery at a depth of 109 feet, suggesting they had located Shaft 6. If the team can verify that the wood they found came from Shaft 6, they may be closer than ever to locating the original Money Pit and an underground debris field filled with incredible artifacts and treasure. Using a specialized sonic drilling rig, the team will extract core samples at intervals of 10 feet and collect spoils into plastic sleeves to be carefully searched for any important clues or valuable objects. The team is eager to take advantage of this discovery and has 3 data sets that show there is, in fact, a tunnel there. This means they must return and examine the geotech surrounding where the Money Pit would sit, which supports additional research at the wash table nearby. The team believes that the westernmost edge of Shaft 6 has provided a much-needed breakthrough, indicating that by continuing to drill east of the site, they will be able to follow the tunnel to the Money Pit's precise location, approximately 18 feet away. Surveyor Steve Guptill and treasure hunter Michael John are sorting through the loot from a borehole called E5.25. They are also looking at a small cannonball or grape shot that dates back to the 15th century and was used as artillery in both land-based and naval warfare. A researcher at the Oak Island Research Center named Michael John is looking into the finding of artillery attached to a weapon that sinks battleships in the open seas. The group is working on a borehole that may be related to the weapon and is close to or crosses the original Money Pit. As they examine the discovery, Marty Lagena and Dr. Aaron Taylor, an archaeologist, propose grape shot as a potential weapon. Lagena and Dr. Taylor are also talking about the finding of an old dress stone, also known as a gunstone, that they think was a projectile fired from a blunderb on an old ship. Prior to the 17th century, blunderbees were single-shot weapons that used iron muskballs, gunstones, and other projectiles. They had a short, large-caliber barrel and a flared muzzle. The finding might support James McQuiston's hypothesis on the possible culprit behind the Oak Island mystery. The group is overseeing the core drilling process for the most recent borehole in the C1 cluster, which is called CD4. 5. Terry. The core drilling operation of the team's most recent borehole, designated CD4. 5 in the C1 cluster, is being supervised by Matt and Charles Barkhouse. The crew is eager to see what they uncover and whether it supports James McQuiston's theory about the possible culprit behind the Oak Island mystery. In borehole CD 4.5, Charles Barkhouse and his team found a section of beam or wood that may indicate an in-place structure. They also found a metal object that may be evidence of a wooden tunnel that is 75 feet deep. The team is interested in the C1 cluster area because of the frequent metal finds and wood hits. The team is working on a new discovery that could provide important information about the history and artifacts found on the island. Rick Lagena came to examine the latest findings and was given a thorough report. They discovered a piece of metal at 75.5 feet that is encrusted and has some weight to it, but it is difficult to identify its nature. They also struck wood at roughly 74 and 75 feet in CD4. 5. Another enigma was discovered in borehole D2, which had traces of another wooden tunnel that dates back to 1488 and a mysterious piece of metal holding substantial gold. Rick Lagena confirmed that it was not from the rig. The crew intends to move the discovery onto the archaeology trailer and place it under XRF, and they hope that both possible tunnels could be related to the original Money Pit. The crew intends to take the finds to the archaeology trailer and place them under XRF since they are thrilled about the possible link between the metals in D2 and the discovery at CD4. 5. When Rick and Charles visit the archaeology trailer with Rick's brother Marty and expert conservator Kelly Barassa, they find an odd piece of metal that is 75.5 feet long, which they think might be useful. Kelly will perform a chemical examination of the encrusted object using an X-ray fluorescence spectrometer, XRF, which can determine the elemental composition of metal objects. While Marty seeks gold, Rick finds iron. To honor their late friend and comrade Dan Blankenship, the Laginas and their team assemble at the 10X drill site. Along with Dan's son Dave and daughter Linda Flowers, Rick carved a lovely plaque out of the island and positioned Dan's old drilling rig as a tribute to him at the location of his most significant discovery over the 50 years of efforts to unravel the Oak Island enigma. In a year full of incredible discoveries, including medieval tools, artifacts, evidence of something of great value buried in the fabled money pit, and extensive man-made structures in the swamp dating back as much as centimeters, they hope that when people visit the island in the future, they will remember the man and the individual they are trying to follow, and extend Dan's footsteps and validate more than 10 years of hard work and personal sacrifices. Rick, Marty, and Craig are now closer than ever to solving the amazing enigma of Oak Island. Charles, in the same way that their narrative has permanently altered their lives and the lives of everyone around them, Rick's brother exhorts him to hold fast to his faith and believes that it will alter history as we know it. The amazing tale of the individuals who worked in a swamp on Oak Island in the year 1200 AD is only now starting to wrap up the mystery surrounding Oak Island. In order to ascertain whether the ancient brooch from Lot 21 is half gold, Martin Lagena, his son Alex, and friend Craig Tester traveled to St. Mary's University in Halifax. A gemologist assessed the excellent condition. The brooch will be magnified up to tens of thousands of times its size using a powerful scanning electron microscope, and its chemical makeup will be examined to see whether it is made of gold or another precious metal. Gold is dazzling, while pure copper is black. After discovering the first gold piece, Marty is happy by the elaborate setting and the potential for additional treasure on Oak Island this year. Marty convenes a war room meeting to share the good news with his brother Rick and his co-workers. Following the discovery of a lead crucifix and brooch that may be older than expected, Rick and Marty Lagena and their team move further in their 223-year treasure hunt after finding their first gold on Oak Island. Dumas Contracting Limited is rebuilding the decaying 80-foot hole that exhibits strong gold trace evidence in water tests and may be close to a treasure room related to the original money pit. Today, the company started a probe drilling operation from within the garden shaft to hunt for objects outside. In order to find out what's inside the 55-foot garden shaft, the team will physically drill multiple boreholes since Marty Lagena wants something large. The Dumas team will drill 12 holes at different angles in each of the 4 walls of a garden shaft using a hydraulic earth drill to look for man-made workings and artifacts. They will also collect soil samples and a small piece of wood to test for gold. A map scan revealed the wood fragments that were used for the inner lining of the garden shaft. Wood samples from 55 feet inside the shaft contain high trace gold. Wood samples cling to biological wood at 0.11% and are 100% correct, said archaeologist Emma Culligan, who confirmed the finding. It's amazing that this much gold was found. The crew is looking for gold in the money pit area, and the exceptional results are encouraging them to double-check and cross-check samples in an effort to come closer to the reward. Charles Barkhouse and geologist Terry Matt are keenly watching borehole DN11.5, quote, S 80 to 120 feet wealth zone potential. They are nearing discovery, but unclear how to proceed. They find a 90 feet deep hole in the treasure zone known for its gold. Now focused on discovering more gold, the crew can confirm they are near the top of the tunnel due to the discovery of a tunnel at the same depth and 2 nearby boreholes that match the garden shaft. The crew is motivated to learn from missed opportunities and find gold. The narrative discusses an Oak Island treasure hunt by researchers. Their focus is on a tunnel near a garden shaft and a solid wood chunk in the middle. They will send a wood sample to the lab for metal testing. The crew found a tunnel and the garden shaft in DN11.5, quote, SXRF readings. XRF was used to detect metals and elements in the wood sample from a 90-feet tunnel. Small gold amounts are an oddity. Gold sample of water and wood should lead to exploratory drilling or digging. This should reveal the riches at the bottom of the garden shaft.